once you start to stop pursuing an activity for, I guess you could say, egoic satisfaction, and you start to do things for you, for your soul, for who you really are beyond your thoughts, beyond your mind, whatever superficial identity you're trying to chase, that's when you, at least I find, start to live the best life. You start to live in harmony with who you actually are. You start to be at peace with the self that's always been within you, and now it's just flowing outward. It's so crazy how everything just falls into place. It takes time. You're definitely not going to get what you want, but if you start working on yourself and you start to pursue the things in your life that naturally satisfy you, bring you peace, bring you happiness, and you're no longer doing it for egoic reasons, that's when I find you'll find the most amazing things. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Conscious Cal YouTube channel. I am your host, Cal, along with my other boy, Mr. Jason Scalora, a special guest on the channel today.
First time here.
So, my man, what's been up lately?
Not much.
Yeah?
What's up with you?
You know, we've tried to record this intro so many times, and we've just been fucking around the entire time. But, you know, what's been on my mind recently, definitely has been just going with the flow, right? Yeah. Just really not trying to force anything, whether that be friendships in my life, whether that be people that I know, whether that be something that I want to do, right? Something that I want to attain. It's just so much better because, like, where you are is where you're meant to be, right? Where you are is not just necessarily going to be where you want to be, right? But in the end, it always works out. Yeah. Not to how you want it to work out, but how things are the way things are. Right. They're whole, they're complete, right? And the more resistance you have, the more you can't accept that, the harder your reality is going to be.
100%. It's ironic that you started with that too, because Joe and I were just talking about this. Shout out to Joe. We were talking about how when, you know, because right now I'm a senior and I'm on my way out. I'm going to graduate at the end of the semester and hopefully, but I'm a senior. I'm graduating at the end of the semester. And Joe and I were talking about it. Most of the time that we spend doing anything is saying no to things, saying no to opportunities, saying no to people, especially people. Because, you know, if you're a senior in college or, you know, not even just senior college, if you're in your teens and 20s, the biggest thing that you're going to need to learn to do is say no to people. Yeah. Because if you say yes to every party, you say yes to every night going out, say yes to every plan that you can make, say yes to all the friends that want to, you know, talk to you or text you or FaceTime you or get your time, get your energy, get your attention, you're going to spread yourself so thin. And not for nothing, you're going to say yes to a bunch of opportunities from people that are only going to make your life worse, right? Because Joe and I were talking about the other day of, like, you know, we had realized, not the other day, a couple hours ago, we realized, like, we have our circle of people. Yeah. And we don't really give a shit if anybody else comes in. Yeah. Like, there's nothing pressing either one of us to go out and try and meet people at all. And I was like, holy shit. I mean, it's because A, we're busy, but B, we can't afford to try and spend time and effort and energy to deal with people's bullshit, to allow somebody else to bring us into a spot where we're going to sit there at a dinner table and just listen to people complain for fucking 4 hours. Yeah. It's not worth our time. That's going to put us out for half a day. For what? We have our circle of friends, and that's good enough. Yeah. But it's like, if you're in a position where you're trying to say yes to everybody and to every plan because you want to be liked or whatever, you're going to screw yourself, because the people that are reaching out to you, that are trying to make plans with you, the people that are desperate to hang out with people are not high-quality individuals. They don't love themselves. They complain all the time, and they're just unhappy. It's like, if you spend enough time with those kind of people, you're going to become that kind of person.
So in order to get to where you want to be, right, you need to cut out the shit. Right. You need to learn how to say no. And I think I do say no a lot, you know, but in indirect ways, you know. I think for me personally, like, when someone brings up, for instance, like a videography gig, you know, for instance, filming like the club lacrosse team here on campus, or doing something for the department that I work for, right? I'm just like, yeah, I'll do it, right? And then, like, I just hope it gets swept under the rug and people forget about it, you know. And it's like, I couldn't agree with you more, man, because I have an incredibly hard time saying no, right? But and it's like, when I'm not I can indirectly say no, right? That makes sense. When I can come up with, I guess you could say, a reason for why I'm not going to be able to do it. Like, yeah, I'm good at doing that, and, like, you know, just being to myself, right? Indirectly saying no. But when someone proactively asks me to say no, right, I'm okay.
Why does it feel so uncomfortable?
Because I want to be liked. I don't like making people feel uncomfortable, right? And I think a lot of people are in that spot. You know, maybe not you or Joe. You know, actually,
Joe
yeah,
definitely
Joe,
is.
yeah, Joe. I think
definitely
Joe and I
is.
share that characteristic a lot. And it's something we're probably both
But
working on.
also, there's a certain aspect of it, and granted, this might be all ego, of everybody on this campus loves you two motherfuckers. You two are you two are the most liked individuals I know that go to the school. Like, not even bullshitting. I don't know anybody else that's more well liked, right? I may know just as many people.
Yeah.
I'm not nearly as well liked as you.
Yeah.
You probably are like 99.99%. I'm probably like 60.
Yeah, because they don't truly know who I am. You know what I mean?
And that's what I was gonna say. You pay a price for that.
Yeah, I do.
So do I.
Yeah,
though.
different consequences. That's a really good point.
There are different consequences.
Yeah.
But that's why I think it ultimately comes down to how you feel about you. Because if you can go around and it's not seriously hindering you and you feel better that way, and it's not because of ego, it's not because you want to be liked because you want to be liked, but it's because you just want people to feel good and you just want to be that kind of person, you just want to spread that kind of energy, fucking go for it.
Yeah.
If that means every time you say no, you word it in a way so that you let them down softly as possible, or that means you compromise yourself and say yes to things you didn't want to say yes to just so that you can stay friends with somebody, just so that, you know, they'll be happy or whatever, and that's actually because you want them to be happier, not some egoic drive or whatever, then that's great. Like, for me, that doesn't resonate well. Like, at all. Anytime I say yes to something I know I shouldn't have said yes to, I'm like, why the fuck did I do that? And it eats me up. Maybe that's not the same case for you. For me, it's like, I mean, I would argue 90% of the time, I'm always saying no and then giving you the actual reason. Because if you ask me a question, I'm just going to tell you the answer to however I feel, and I'm going to risk the potential of being disliked from people to tell you my truth, because to me, it's not worth it to do it any other way. Because ultimately, I believe my faith is based in truth, and so that's how I view it. But my truth to me is whatever is subjective to me. It doesn't mean yours has to be the same to you. But I just think that people really need to understand that you do pay a price for voicing your opinion, and you do pay a price for not. You just have to pick which one you're going to go with.
Yeah. And I think too, it's when you choose, because Jordan Peterson was talking about this today. I was watching a video, and he said, if you lie about something, right, or you don't tell how you truly think, that's not you telling. That's not you saying that, right? That's a false self version of you, right? What your true self, according to him, what your true self would say is exactly how you would say it, right? And what you truly believe, right? So every single time you're in that instance, right, where, for instance, someone says yes to something that they don't necessarily want to say yes to, they feel guilty, shame, kind of like it eats them up inside, right? Because they know they're not aligned with who they really are, right? And so I think in my own case, a lot of the times when I'm forced into those kind of situations where, someone wants me to do something and I don't want to do it, right? But I give them an answer that's in a white lie, I guess you could say, right? It eats me up, right? Although I may not actually do it, right? It does eat me up, very similar to you. And I think since I want to be liked by a lot of people, and I just have that kind of innate drive, you know, just, I guess you could say, spread good energy and, you know, along those lines, and just build positive relationships, you know, I think that really does do a detriment to me in that moment, right? And although I said before, I don't have the behavior of always, you know, following through with that behavior, like fully committing to myself, I think within that moment, and since I do say kind of like a maybe yes, you know, like I leave the window for opportunity open, right? That kind of leads the other person on a little bit, and it can lead to other circumstances that could have been resolved if I just learned how to say no in that moment, right? And it's so true, because if you can learn how to say no, right, in a objective, non-escalated way, it's such a powerful tool, right? Because you can begin to shape your life exactly how you want it, right? Of course, you're not in control of everything, right? But you can start to reprioritize your life. You can start to do things that you want to do. So instead of going out and partying with your friends, you stay home, meditate, read, work on your homework, go to the gym, right? Do things that actually help build your character. And then you could start to move towards that reality that you actually want, right? So, and it's we've said this so many times recently, where you are is where you're meant to be, right? And you don't attract what you want, right? You attract who you are, right? 100%. And so as a byproduct of your habits, your behaviors, right? Who you are subconsciously, right? Different from who you are consciously in a sense, right? According to what you think, your beliefs, your values, right? That's going to be the position you're in. And we talk about this so many times, right? People think that are in your spot, for instance, right? Like with all your success as an individual and on social media, right? They think how you got to where you are is completely out of luck, right? No, it's not out of luck, right? There's no coincidence that you've been able to be so successful as an individual and on social media and the different avenues that you've gone in within your life, right? It's taken work, it's taken time, it's taken different habits and behaviors to get you to the point to where you're at, right? And so many people on social media see different types of lifestyles, such as like bodybuilders, right? And they're like, oh my God, they just got that physique from steroids. Like, bro, even 99% of people look like shit on steroids anyways.
Yeah.
But let alone those people on steroids are working their fucking ass off, right? And they have, sure, yes, steroids definitely help. Absolutely, right? But how they got there, right? Yeah, and some of it's based on genetics, absolutely, no doubt about it, right? But within their control, what they have been able to do as an individual through the habits that they've been able to develop, they've been able to really lay down a path that's allowed them to get to the point to where they are, right? And so where they are is where they're meant to be, right? And there's no coincidence that they keep finding success in their lives, right? As opposed to someone who, I don't know if you said this in this episode or like one we previously recorded like 5 times ago, you said you're completely fine with your circle, right? And you're completely okay. You're not actively seeking out hangouts and building that kind of relationships with everybody in a sense where you're just a part of a group that makes you feel included, you know, and like you don't need that assurance, right? You're comfortable as who you are as an individual, 100%. Right? And you gain these other things in your life, such as great friends, people, personal, real life consequences, such as money, I guess you could say, fame, right? And, you know, the like around that area as a byproduct, right? You're not even actively pursuing it. You're just doing what you love because you love it, right? 100%. And everything else just comes as a byproduct, right? Obviously, there's shit you go through in your life. There's shit that you face. But at the end of the day, you've gotten to a point based on your own habits and behaviors, right? And not based on some superficial affirmation that you constantly say to your head on a daily basis.
It's like, I mean, anybody who works on themselves will notice this is, you know, if you try to make friends or try and chase girls or, you know, like if you try to make friends by chasing people, you're never going to make good friends. You make great friends when you do you. Yeah. You do your own thing and allow them to just come into your life. Yeah, it's going to happen. And however that's going to manifest is how it's going to manifest. That is how it works. It's the same thing with women, right? It's like if you want to, you know, have sex with a lot of girls, I'm not saying you should, but the way to do that as a man is to do your own thing. Become a fucking man. Yeah. Do your own thing. Prioritize your success. Prioritize making your life better. Whatever success means, not just money, not just, you know, building a business or whatever the fuck it means. Yeah. To you. Like, if you prioritize yourself, dude, like, women are going to flock to you. They're going to flock to you. That's how it works. Because women are attracted to confidence. And I forget when I think I heard this on the Patrick Bet-David podcast, but women are attracted to confidence, which comes from working on you, right? So that's how it works. Like, if you stop focusing on women so much, stop scrolling on Tinder so much, maybe you'll bag. But like, if you want women to chase you, the way you're going to do it is by working on yourself. Yeah. And it's not just about the women. It's just it's an analogy for everything. Yeah. It's ironic too. It's like, crazy. Right. Like, once I got into college, I stopped giving a fuck about, you know, trying to make so many friends, stopped trying to, you know, say yes to all opportunities, whatever. Started really just focusing on me. And I've built the best relationship since. My best friends have come into my life ever since I stopped giving a fuck about making friends and started giving a fuck about myself. Once I started doing me, everyone just came to me. It wasn't because I'm, you know, better than everybody and so everyone wants to be friends with me. It's because
vice versa.
I'm attracting those people into my life. But that's how it's going to work. But people don't like the idea because it's hard to work on you. But that's the truth.
Yeah, man. And it's like, you really, really do. Once you start to stop pursuing an activity just as a means for, I guess you could say, egoic satisfaction, right? Egoic means, or egoic ends.
Right.
And you start to do things for you, for your soul, for who you really are, beyond your thoughts, beyond your mind, right? Beyond whatever superficial identity you're trying to chase. That's when you, at least I find, start to live the best life, right? You start to live in harmony with who you actually are.
Right.
You start to be at peace with the self that's always been within you, and now it's just flowing outwards, right? And so as you start to let it flow outwards, as you start to really do things for yourself, and of course, it's not going to be easy. Of course, you're going to have temptation. Both Jason and I do all the time, right? And we actively still do these things, so this is a message for both of us, right? And question what we're saying, right? Don't believe us. Do it for yourself.
Right.
But it's so crazy how everything just falls into place, right? And it takes time. You're definitely not going to get what you want, but if you start working on yourself and you start to pursue the things in your life that naturally satisfy you, right? And bring you peace, bring you happiness, and you're no longer doing it for egoic reasons, that's when I find you'll find the most amazing things.
100%.
And it really is, I believe, the equation that so many people don't know, and the equation that can help an immense amount of people.
Just build winning habits.
Yeah.
That's it, dude.
100%.
You build winning habits, people are going to come to you.
Yeah.
Opportunities are going to come to you. Friends are going to come to you. Success is going to come to you. But that's why most people don't have those things.
Yeah.
Because building winning habits is the hard part. That's the part that sucks. You don't see the correlation between keeping your room clean and making a lot of friends. You don't see the correlation between making your bed every morning and making a lot of money. And that's why you're losing.
100%. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that has been this video on the Conscious Cal YouTube channel. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe on this YouTube video. Where can they find you, my man?
Figure it out.
Figure it out. All right, like, comment, and subscribe. See you later. Love yourself because I love you.
Stay handsome.
And we are clocking out, people.
Peace.